All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Model Monday Live. Today is Monday, June 16th. Beautiful day here on the east coast of Pennsylvania. My name is Toby Schnars, TooTallToby, and today I am here as your host on this episode of Model Monday Live. I'm a certified SOLIDWORKS expert, a certified Onshape professional, an all-around CAD guru, CAD enthusiast. I love 3D CAD. I've been doing it for a long time, but I feel like every day I still learn something new, a new little shortcut, a new little time-saving tip and trick. So it just goes to show you that we never really stop learning. And of course, this space is always evolving. There's always a new innovation that we see in this space. And so sometimes it's hard to keep up. But here at TooTallToby.com, we aim to help you stay caught up on all these cool new tips, tricks, shortcuts, gadgets, everything that's going on in the world of 3D CAD. So welcome. Kate in the chat says, by the way, it's pronounced Leipold. All right, thank you. I love the explanation, the phonetic explanation, always very helpful, especially for us engineers who struggle with both spelling and pronunciation. I notice that happens a lot in the world of engineering and engineers. So thank you very much appreciated, Kate. Leipold. Thank you. Aaron C is in the chat. What's up, my man? Current leader on our Model Monday Live points leaderboard. Of course, here on Model Monday Live, you can earn points. You can get yourself onto the leaderboard, win prizes at the end of the year. So always good to see Aaron C here in the chat. Let's see who else is here in the chat. We've had a lot of people joining us here. I'm just going to kind of roll back in time here in the chat. Let's make sure we get the correct pop out here. Fully Defined, he's out in Australia. He's been posting a lot of really cool stuff. He said he's off to bed. Okay, well, see you later, Chris. He's been posting a lot of good stuff about using Legos in 3D CAD and how you can use Legos to help you learn about things like snapping components together, mate automation, things like that. Rambro's Workshop, the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, is here with us in the chat. Hello, my friend. Jim Yu is here. Hello. Chris Knudsen is here. Guntis Constance is here. Hello, Chris. Hello, Guntis. Great to see you. And Zayak Zero is here. Hello. And Perigene is here. Hello. And Ricardo Jean, the winner of our 2025 Spring Open CAD vs. CAD tournament, is here. Says hello. Good luck to the runners today. I'm out. See you all in the next Model Monday Live. All right. He's here and he's gone. Thank you and goodbye. And Kate Leipold is here. Says happy Monday. Representing the Creo community today. Let's go. That's what I like to hear. And Sumo is here. Says hi, sir. Hello. And Sebastian is here as well. Hello, my friend. Great to see you doing some more speed runs on the website, and great to see you in here today on Model Monday Live. All right, everybody. Well, let's get into it here. I know what you all are here for. You are here for some CAD modeling practice, so we are going to get into it here. I want to say that today we're going to be going over 2 CAD speed modeling challenges. We're going to be doing some updates. We're going to do a live solve using Onshape, and of course, we'll hang out with the best chat ever. And speaking of the best chat ever, I just got to take a moment and say thank you so much to all of our subscribers. I want to say anybody who's done super thanks, anybody who's joined, all the likers out there, all the tutorial makers, all the super chatters, all the value for value folks, the Practice Models Premium subscribers, any students, any sharers, any commenters, and of course the Discord crew. Without all of you, we would not have this amazing community. So thank you all so much for being a part of this journey with me. And it's very exciting every week to get started with the week here with all of you. So thank you all so much for being here. And Atse is here in the chat. Hello, my friend. Welcome. And Zhao Shi is here. Says greetings from sunny evening Belgium. Hello. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Great to see you in here. Guys, today we're going to do a live solve using Onshape. Here's a little sneak peek of what that live solve is going to look like. And of course, if you want to support the channel, the easiest way to do it is to hit the like button on this live stream and to share and reshare. Let your coworkers know about what we're doing. Take a copy of the live stream, drop it into the chat with all your friends. Message it out via text message to all your contacts. Let people know that this is the place to go if you want to do live CAD vs. CAD challenges. And of course, if you are in the world of SolidWorks, we do have some SolidWorks training available on the website. We've got our Zero to Hero training path where you can start out kind of knowing nothing about SolidWorks and you can kind of work your way all the way through to getting certified professional. You could probably do this in about 30 days. Start with your 30-minute quick start, do the SolidWorks one-on-one training, and then jump into your CSWP prep training. And before you know it, you're going to be a certified SolidWorks professional. You're going to be able to put that on your resume, maybe use it to land a job. But more importantly, you're going to learn lots of good tips and tricks about how to accurately model 3D parts so that you can build those parts, manufacture those parts, or 3D print those parts. So check it out, TooTallToby.com/training. Even if you are have zero experience with SolidWorks, pick up the SolidWorks Maker's License. I think it's $40 for a year right now. And within a month, you could get your certified SolidWorks professional. Francisco is here from Italy. Says hello. What's up, Francisco? Great to see you in here. Thanks for joining us. And Gray is here as well. What's up, Gray? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us again this week. All right, let's get into it here. I know what you all are here for, the CAD vs. CAD speed modeling challenges. So we are gonna show you a 2D drawing, and then all of you in the chat are gonna attempt to turn it into a 3D model. You're gonna assign the appropriate material density, the material attributes, and you're gonna enter the correct answer directly in the YouTube chat. The question is, what is the mass of this part? And you're gonna try to answer that directly in the YouTube chat. Now, the thing is, the first half of the show, we're going to do this in the YouTube chat, but the second half of the show, we're actually going to leverage the proprietary technology found at TooTallToby.com. So you're going to be here for TooTallToby.com. You visit TooTallToby.com, sign up for a free account, and then you're going to be here for the second half of the show, and you're going to be able to compete in that second half of the show. But for the first half, we want to make sure it's open to everyone. And we want to make sure that you use the YouTube chat to answer these questions. The basic rules are that you can use any 3D CAD package as long as you can input the density and output the mass. Any 3D CAD package is welcome. Make sure you use the specified precision, and the first correct answer in the chat will be declared the winner. And of course, I want to say thank you to all the amazing chat pros out there. I appreciate Aaron C saying he's here to listen to that smooth voice. Thank you, Aaron C. This next one's for Aaron C. And also, I want to say thank you so much to Victor K for being here, our 2023 world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, joining us in the chat. Says, got some meetings today, might not be able to compete. Well, let's get into it here so that we can get you into competition mode, Victor. And our units and materials that we use here on these challenges are listed on screen right now. You might want to take a screen capture of this screen so that you can make sure that you've got your materials and make sure that you've got your maybe like custom materials library configured to reflect these materials with the specified material density. Remember, the challenge is what is the mass of this part? And since mass is calculated by multiplying volume times your material density, if you don't have your material density correct, you are not going to get the correct mass. So make sure that you have your correct material densities as shown here. Take a screen capture, and if you are able to come up with the answer first, you're going to win points on our Model Monday Live leaderboard, currently headed up by none other than Aaron C. He's here in the chat. He likes the smooth voice that's coming off of his speakers, and he's got 16 points, but we still have half the year, and we generally distribute, you can see here, 5, 6, 8 points per month. So there's plenty of opportunity here for people to still earn points and to still, get through and overtake Aaron C. He's got the lead right now, but it's still really anyone's game. Ase in the chat says, is Matab around? I haven't seen him in the chat, but we'll see if he's in here. He's usually here every week. All right, guys, the advanced rules are this is meant to be fun and good-spirited. Occasionally, I will make mistakes. I'll, omit an important dimension from the drawing or something like that. If that happens, you guys can figure it out. We'll figure it out together. And of course, the Ivan exploit is permitted. And if you're not familiar with the Ivan exploit, don't worry. We are in the process of actually putting together a really nice tutorial to explain what's going on with the Ivan exploit. Aaron C and I are actually collaborating on that, and we are back on track. I guess I should share the news. We are back on track with this Ivan exploit video. So, of course, along the way, we have hit 1 or 2 little snags along the way getting that thing released. But I wanted to let you know that we are back on track, and I think maybe within the next week or 2, we should have an estimated date of release for that video. So be on the lookout for that announcement, and that announcement of when we're going to release the video is coming. But yeah, as Aaron says in the chat, we are so back. So that announcement of when the Ivan exploit video will be released this is kind of like an announcement about the announcement. So the announcement that the Ivan exploit video will be released will occur in the next week or two, potentially, possibly a little bit later than that. All right, so that's it for the advanced rules. And with that, let's get into our first Model Monday Live speed modeling challenge. This first challenge for all of you begins as soon as we see the 2D print here. Grab a screen capture so that you can model this up. Here we go. This first Model Monday Live challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? You can see this is a 1060 aluminum part, and it is called 3D print metal. This is the kind of part that I always feel like I see whenever people are showing off their metal 3D printers. This is the part that I see. Now, this is also a part where the customer came to us and said, listen, I want these holes to get gradually smaller. I want there to be a minimum distance from the wall for these holes. And that's what I want, you know, and if this angle changes, if the part gets longer, if the part gets smaller, well, I still want these holes to have this minimum distance from the wall. So that's what the customer wanted. So that's what we gave them. And you can see here the results of those holes based on that customer requirement. It's a little unorthodox, but this happens sometimes when you're talking to customers. They have an idea of what they want. And in the world, especially in the world of 3D printing and 3D metal printing, you know, the customer really has a lot more latitude than they used to. It used to be, you know, no, we don't have tooling for that. But now the customer is really able to kind of let us know what they want, what their vision is. And thanks to the world of 3D printing and 3D metal printing, we're kind of able just to give them exactly what they want. Aaron C says, maybe next time we can do a part where the dimension is a percentage of another dimension. Yeah, I like that. It's actually a great real world skill to have. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. There's probably a couple different ways you could solve that challenge. And that's the kind of challenges that we like to promote here on TooTallToby. Challenges that do help with real world skills. So I really like that idea, Aaron. Be on the lookout. There will be one of those coming in the future. All right. And Da Vinci is here in the chat. Welcome, my friend. Long time no see. Thanks for joining us today. Great to see you in here. All right. Take a screen capture. We are going to continue with today's presentation. So we want to make sure that you have all of the appropriate dimensions, the required dimensions. So take a screen capture, and that way you'll be able to keep an eye on this. Hello from Laden. All right, let's go. Yes, 96 dimension is max height to tangent. That is correct. Yeah, I knew that radius 6 was going to be a little bit covering it up, so I put on the side view too, that 96 max height on the side view too, to kind of help clarify that. Hello from London. All right, let's go. Nice, Da Vinci. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us. All righty. What else is going on? Well, first of all, again, I know you guys are scrambling to model that part so you can earn that first point. Remember, you're going to answer this first one, you're going to answer directly in the YouTube chat. So as you guys are scrambling to do that, or if you're just watching just for fun, be sure to hit the like button. Let's see what we got for likes currently. Looks like we got almost 40 people watching, which is great. That is what I'd like to see. And we got 9 likes. Well, let's see if I think we can do better than that, guys. So let's make sure we hit the like button. Let's make sure that we get that like ratio up to 1-to-1 or even greater than 1-to-1. I know sometimes people have to leave for other meetings, but let's try and get that like ratio up. That's what we like to see. And of course, your challenge this week is to talk to one coworker. You know, walk up to one coworker, whisper in their ear, and you can say, hey, what are you watching? You should be watching TooTallToby. This girl is saying to this guy. This guy has got, I always like to look at this guy's pen. He's got this nice like cross pen, it looks like here, and it looks like he's doing some really important, it says company growth. Company growth is what it says there on that sheet of paper. So this looks like this company's doing pretty good, right? This is a great chart here. Very linear growth. That's what we like to see. So, you know, she could walk up to him and she could say, hey, don't forget to check out TooTallToby.com. That's where it's at. That's where all the action is. And of course, if you're out there and you want to join the party, we really appreciate the support. We are doing this full time. Of course, we always have side hustles to try to make some money, but for the most part, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a community, create an environment where people can learn CAD, can have some fun along the way, and can learn CAD using any 3D CAD system. So one way you can support us financially is you can sign up for Practice Models Premium on the website. You can also join the YouTube channel. There's some join levels on the YouTube channel, or you can just visit us at TooTallToby.com/donate. These are great ways to support what we're doing here. If you like what we're doing, if you're already an established engineer, you have a great job, but you wish there was a resource like this when you were coming up, well, that's another great reason to support what we're doing here, because you could be supporting the next generation and helping them learn. And of course, we always get great messaging from that next generation saying, hey, you really helped me through my certification, help me with my final project. We're always so thankful to receive that kind of messaging from that next generation of engineer, designer, 3D printer. All right, what's going on in the world, TooTallToby? Well, of course, we did recently conclude our Spring Open 2025 with our champion, Ricardo Jean, and we've been releasing videos showing the highlights, and people have really been enjoying those videos. So if you see any of those videos going out, be sure to share, be sure to reshare. And we appreciate all the growth that we're seeing from those videos, and really appreciated that action. Man, those final battles between Ricardo and Otse were absolutely legendary. And if you haven't had a chance to watch those videos yet, 3 of them are posted, and the remaining video or videos, no spoilers, will be posted this week. So definitely a lot of fun to see those videos. And so now that takes us into our next tournament, the Variety Tournament, where we're going to be featuring a maximum of 2 runners from any one CAD system. That means we'll have a minimum of 4 CAD systems, but hopefully more than 4 CAD systems in this next tournament. The Variety CAD Tournament is officially open for free registration. So if you are a CAD wizard, or if you know a CAD wizard, be sure to send them over to TooTallToby.com/variety. And that is where they can go to register for this next tournament. Of course, if you're out there, if you're a sponsor, if you're interested in sponsoring the tournament, we'd love to hear from you as well. We are definitely looking for some sponsors for these next couple of tournaments, the Variety CAD Tournament, and of course the World Championship, which is coming up a little bit later this year. But if you're out there, if you're a CAD wizard, or if you know somebody who you think is a CAD wizard, or even just somebody who you think should give this a shot, send them over to TooTallToby.com/variety and let them enter. It's going to be a really fun tournament, and those first matches are going to begin next month, July 18th. So still some time to register for that tournament. I mentioned at the opening of the show, if you're interested in any training, you can check out our training website. We've got a full 0 to hero path for SolidWorks users. But look, if you're interested in any training, you can contact Vicky at TooTallToby.com, and we will definitely help you out. We would love to hear from you, whether it's just for you or whether it's for your whole team. If it's anything SolidWorks related, I got you covered. If it's anything Onshape related, I might have you covered. Depends on what you're trying to do. And of course, if you're just out there and you're trying to take like an idea, a napkin sketch, and turn it into 3D models, that's one of my favorite things to do, is to work with people who are at that state of the invention process. If you've got a napkin sketch idea and you're ready to turn it into kind of a 3D printed model, and you need some accurate 3D models modeled up in Onshape or in SolidWorks, reach out. We would love to talk to you. We would love to work with you. And we're already working with a few people who are doing that and having great success. So if you ever find yourself, or if you know anybody, a lot of times as engineers, we talk to people and, they come up to us and they're like, oh, hey, you know CAD? I got an idea. Well, can you help me draw it up? Something like that. But we don't always have time, but who has time? Toby has time to work with those people. So if you're friends with anybody who finds themselves in that spot, you can send them my way. I would love to help them out, work with them, get their idea from napkin sketch to a 3D print so that they can then take it on to the next step and maybe get it manufactured. All right, and what else is going on? Well, the other thing is, we kind of mentioned this at the beginning of the show. There is a new partnership now between Practice Models and Model Monday Live. So what is the Practice Models app? Well, if you visit us over at TooTallToby.com, what you'll see is that we post a series of challenges. We've got a library of over 180 challenges going from 2D to 3D. So very similar to what we're doing here on Model Monday Live. But we've got a whole library of these challenges over at TooTallToby.com. And some of these challenges are free for everyone. And then once you try it out, once you do, 10 or 15 of the free challenges that are in there, if you figure out that you really like this kind of practice, then you can sign up for our Practice Models Premium, and you can unlock the entire library. And this not only unlocks the entire library for you, but it also helps us. If you like what we're doing here on the channel, this is just another way to support the channel, is by signing up for Practice Models Premium. And so you can see here that over the months, we release a lot of different variety of CAD models. There's some that require you to learn how to do sweeping, some that are sheet metal, some that are plastic parts, some that are manufactured parts, machined parts. So, we have a lot of variety here in the types of models that we offer on this challenging website, on this challenges website in our library. And we've got 180 models available for users, over 180 now. We've got a scoreboard, so every time you finish a challenge, you get on our leaderboard. We've got some filters, so you can kind of pick and choose what it is that you want to be modeling. If you want to do something like a simpler model, like a tier 1 model, you go through and model all of them, and then you can move on to tier 2, tier 3. We've got community tutorials, which is something that I wanted to talk to you about today. So one of the things that we've got here, this is the TooTallToby website. This is a live feed of the website here. And at the TooTallToby website, TooTallToby.com, you can see here that you can say get started, and then you can get in here and start doing these practice models. And if you've got a free account, like I said, there's about 10 or 15 models that are available for free for everyone. And then if you like the app, you can unlock the Practice Models Premium models. You can unlock the entire library. But one of the things that I wanted to call to your attention is, if you're a CAD user using any 3D CAD system, if you're out there using 3D CAD and you want to contribute to your community, what you could do is you could model up these parts. So you could go through here, you could model up this part, you could say reveal drawing. Okay, I'm gonna create a 3D model of this, and I'm gonna explain how to do this in IronCAD or in a Libre or in Fusion 360. I'm gonna model this thing up, and I'm gonna record myself doing it because I have a YouTube channel. Well, when you're done doing that, when you're done recording yourself making that tutorial, you can go in here to data and analytics, and then there's a section down here called My Tutorials. And with My Tutorials, you can specify which CAD system you were using when you created the tutorial. You can specify which language you were speaking during the tutorial, and then you can include a link to your YouTube video. And what that'll do is it'll take your tutorial and it'll just drop it here on the community videos page. So here you see, look at this one. There's no tutorials for this one. Oh no, there's no tutorials for this video. So we got to get a community tutorial going for this video here. And that way people, if they get stuck during these challenges, they would be able to get down here and they would be able to actually kind of resolve the area where they're stuck. So maybe what I'll do is I'll take this video here, which is directly from the YouTube video here. So I can take this video here directly from the YouTube video, and I can just take this URL up top here and copy it. June 9th, and then what I can do is I could go in here to my data and analytics, and I could go down to community tutorials, so My Tutorials. So I did this using Onshape. I did it in English, and here is the link to that tutorial. And then I can choose submit. And now what'll happen is we will see that tutorial is going to show up here on the community videos section. And here it is. Look at that. Nikola Tesla. That's my one of my usernames. That's kind of the username that I use when I'm using Onshape. A tutorial here in Onshape, and here is a link to that video. So now, if anybody's trying to do this challenge and they get stuck, well, now they've got a tutorial video that's going to help them get unstuck. So that's something that's a little bit newer on the TooTallToby platform functionality, but something that I'm really interested in seeing kind of how it develops, because we have lots of people that come to us, they message us, they reach out to us, and they say, hey, I do a lot of tutorials. I make tutorials on my YouTube channel. It's a German speaking YouTube channel. Would it be all right with you if I use some of your practice models to create tutorials? And the answer is absolutely. That'd be great. We would love that. Let's continue to spread the word, and let's help people if they get stuck on these models. And so what you can do is you can make a tutorial. The only thing I ask is just when you're done, drop a link in there. Just do what I did there. When you're done with that tutorial, drop a link in here. And that way, if somebody else is working through this challenge and they get stuck, they know they can scroll down here. I mean, of course, we've got the speed run videos, but a speed run isn't really explaining the step-by-step idea. A tutorial is really more, you're trying to explain it to somebody else so that they know how to create that model. And this is another resource that we've got here on the TooTallToby website on the platform. So if you ever, and Jern says, and also don't forget to link back to the TooTallToby website in the video description. Yes, always very much appreciated. We'll get that link back as well in the description. Thank you, Jern. Thank you. And I saw that while I was talking about that, CMYK FPV came in. What's up? Welcome, my friend. Thanks for joining us. And Raphael Morris is here as well. What's up, my man? Thanks for joining us. So that is the TooTallToby practice models app. If you're not familiar with it, or if you were not familiar with it, now you are. I hope it's something that you'll consider checking out. We always are adding new functionality. We recently added the featured challenge practice model, which we're going to talk about here in the second half of the show. We recently added the first 42, which we're going to talk about in the second half of the show as well. The top 3 speed modeling videos that are included here in the featured challenge practice model section. And as far as the pricing goes, we have updated the pricing. We've tried to make it a little bit more affordable. So if you want to get involved for 1 month, it's $8.99 for 1 month. If you sign up for 6 months at a time, that lowers the price to just $7 a month. And if you sign up for 12 months at a time, that lowers the price to just $5.83, less than a sandwich at Wawa right now. I don't know if you guys have Wawa. If you don't have Wawa, put in what you have that is the equivocal. Maybe it's like, I don't know if AM/PM does sandwiches. Maybe it's like, Sheets is pretty popular, or what's the other one with the with that badger? There's the one that has the badger as the logo. Shout out to Wawa. Wawa, if you're out there, we're looking for sponsors. Yes, Buc-ee's. Thank you, Jern. That's the one. Buc-ee's. CMYK says, "Miss me some Wawa." Yeah, come on back to the East Coast, and we'll hook you up. Guys, we wouldn't be able to have this amazing platform if it wasn't for our amazing behind-the-scenes developers. Shout out to Bodie McBoatpants. Thank you so much to Bodie McBoatpants for all the hard work that he puts in to try and keep our website going and continue to add functionality to our website. And of course, thanks to Hubi 3DFX for adding some great new functionality, for helping out with the leaderboards and for the workflows, and really just kind of helping optimize the website. Hubi's really worked some magic in the background. So shout out to Bodie McBoatpants. Shout out to Hubi 3DFX. If you ever see those guys in the chat or in the Discord, be sure to give them a huge shout out. Very much appreciate their work. All right, and finally, I just want to say that with regards to this new partnership, what we're going to be seeing here in the second half of the show is that we are going to be adding a practice model. So here you see TooTallToby say get started here. We're going to be adding a practice model in this section up top here. So this is what we call the featured challenge practice models, this section up top here in this yellow box. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a practice model up in that section. Now, up in that section, you can see it says compete and explore all the features of Premium for free with these featured practice models. So if you sign up for a totally free account here at TooTallToby, you're going to be able to compete in the second half of the show. So if you haven't signed up for a free account yet, be sure to do that. And then what'll happen is after I release the model, so I will release the model here in just a few minutes. It'll probably be about, 1:30, 1:35 East Coast. Then what we'll see here is that in the first 42 section, the model was posted at 1:30 p.m. Well, the next one will probably be closer to 1:35. And then we'll see how quickly users are able to finish this model relative to that release time. So last week, it was Victor K who finished in 4 minutes and 32 seconds from the time of release. Gray, 5 minutes and 47 seconds. Rambro, 6 minutes and 40 seconds from the time of release, from, relative to this time here. So we're going to do that same thing today with a brand new model, and that's going to help us figure out who was the first person to finish it here during Model Monday Live. So it's a really nice merger here of the Model Monday Live functionality and our website practice models and practice models premium. So be sure to join us in the second half of the show. And to do that, you got to make sure that you're signed up for a free TooTallToby account. And if you ever get stuck when you're working on TooTallToby related challenges, you can always head on over to our Discord. You'll notice here that there's a link right at the top here, questions on practice models. Ask here, and then you can link into the Discord, and you can ask questions right in there about any of these challenges that you run into, you run into any kind of a problem with. So be sure to check that out. And Guntus, I didn't realize before, Guntus here is the man with the bow tie in the chat, and looks like he's on here as well as Casca So that's got to be the same person, right? Guntis in the YouTube chat and Casca using the same look. I recognize that bow tie anywhere. So shout out to Casca getting in here and doing these speed runs on these challenges. 5 minutes, 56 seconds. Wow, that is fast using Onshape to do that whole IKEA shelf style layout. That is awesome. And those speed runs are so fun to watch. I really appreciate you guys posting them, and I hope that you will continue doing that. And check it out, Casca's over here as well. Let's go. He's in the top 3 on both of these. That's what I like to see. All right, well, that should do it for our news for now. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like what we're doing here. Looks like we got the magic number, 42 people watching. That is what I like to see. And it looks like we have a total of 20 likes. Guys, come on, we can do better than that. Let's hit that like button. Let's get that like count up to 42 as well. All right, and thank you guys so much for the support. Join the channel, join the premium. Let's get into our first answer here. This is a 3D printed metal part. This is what I always imagine when I imagine a 3D printed metal part. And let's take a look here through the chat and see what kind of answers we saw. So the very first answer came in here from Otse 748, Rambros Team 754, Gray 722, Victor K 738, Victor K 748, and then Victor K says, nice work, Otse. I love how these initial answers were all different. That's something that I really like to see. I like when people kind of mix it up here. We don't know if it's right or not. Let's see here. Gray 748, JTPARM2. Nice. 739. Guntis 722. Paragene 748. We got JT revising to 748. We got Raphael coming in here 748.6. We got Francisco coming in 748. Kate coming in here. Kate Leipold coming in here 748. We got our friend from, I'm not sure what that name is, 749. And we got Jim U 748, Guntis 748, Aaron C 748 says, I'm going for last again. Nice. Guys, the correct answer is 748 grams. So congratulations to Otse. 748 really came in fast with that time. Well done, my friend. Very, very speedy. Our friend from Macedonia, totally crushing it during the tournament. Took it all the way to the most epic final that we've ever seen in our tournaments. And his time for a title is coming very soon. I know it. 748 is correct, so Otse is going to earn a point on the Model Monday Live leaderboard, and of course, he's going to earn a GG from all of us. GG, Otse. Let's give Otse a GG in the chat. Good game, my friend. Well done, and congratulations. Good grams. All right, here we go. Now we move into the second half of the show. Shout out to Ray R in the chat. What is up, my friend? Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. All right, guys, now we're going to go to our second half of the show. And in the second half of the show, the challenge is a little bit different. What we're going to do is we're going to have you go over to TooTallToby.com/practice. So everybody's going to go there, and in just a few moments, this next challenge is going to be released. So take a look at the website, and what you want to do is once you get logged in there, you want to refresh until that challenge shows up on the featured practice models. So if you go here, TooTallToby.com, you sign up for a free account, you say get started with free practice models, and in just a moment, you're going to see that there's going to be a third challenge there up at the top, and that is when this next challenge goes live. This whole challenge is really hosted here by the proprietary technology that we have on the website. So as soon as we see that third challenge here, we're going to know that it is ready to go. It is processing at the moment. Nope, the site is not down, just processing. And if you refresh now, you should see that it is up and running. And so here we go. This next challenge is now officially live, 25-06-05. And everyone out there is ready to compete to create this model. And this is going to be a very fun model. So good luck to all of you. And what I'm going to do here is, while you guys are all solving that, I am going to go through and do this one as a live solve. If you had a hard time getting into the model on the website, you can take a look at it here. We do have it here on the website, or on the live stream here. So if you want to take a screen capture real quick, I'll throw this up full screen for you. just for those of you who weren't able to get it on the website. But if you want to earn the point for Model Monday Live, that point is going to be awarded to the first person in the first 42. So good luck to all of you. Take a screen capture of that drawing. This drawing is called Clamp Slide. And while you are all trying to solve that, I am going to solve this doing a live solve. So welcome everyone to this episode of Model Monday Live, and good luck to everyone who is attempting to solve that model. We can see here that what we're going to be doing now live is we're going to be doing what we call an Onshape live solve. And what that means is that while everyone who's watching this episode of Model Monday Live, June 16th, while everybody is trying to solve this on the website, I am also going to try to solve this on the website using Onshape. So I'm going to start out here by going to TooTallToby.com. I'm going to say get started with free practice models, and anyone with a free TooTallToby account can attempt to do this challenge. And we just released this challenge here just about a minute ago, 25:06:05. And so on the website, we're able to track how quickly people are coming in with answers relative to the time that this challenge was released. And we call that the top 42. Here we'll see from a previous challenge what that top 42 looks like. And whoever's watching live today on this episode of Model Monday Live is going to be able to earn a point here by coming in with the first answer in the top 42. But of course, this was the challenge that we showed last week. Let's get into a live solve now using Onshape and attempt to solve this 25:06:05. So I'm going to say click here to practice, and here we go. No one has solved this yet, so we're going to try to be the first to complete this practice model. I'm going to say click here to begin. It looks like the skills tested are going to be the hole tool, maybe a rib, some symmetry, and some thin walls. So I'm going to say click here to begin, and go! So what is the mass of this part in XXX grams? And we're going to be modeling this part here using ABS, which has a material density of 1020 kilograms per cubic meter. So whenever it comes to creating a model like this, what I like to do is I like to start out by just kind of looking at the print and coming up with a game plan. So for me, for this type of a drawing, I think what my game plan is going to be is it's going to be to start out here with an origin location. Where should my origin be located? And I think that it makes sense to locate the origin either here or here. Generally, just me personally, I kind of start on the left and work my way to the right. So I'm going to choose to put the origin right here. And so once you decide where your origin is going to be, and of course this part is symmetric, so you see we've got a line of symmetry here, so the origin will be right in the middle of the part as well. Well, once we decide where the origin is going to be, the next part of our game plan should be to decide what the very first sketch is going to look like. And I think for me, I'm probably going to include a lot of information from this view in this first sketch. This is kind of an easier model. It's a tier 3 model. So I think my first sketch is probably going to look a little something like this. It's going to contain kind of all that information there, maybe create a couple of circles over here. Maybe my first sketch will have this rib shape here, and it'll even have this shape here. So I think for me, I'm probably just going to opt to include all that information right away in my very first sketch. And then once I've got all the information, I'm going to be able to extrude that information to 2 different depths. So most of the geometry, you can see kind of this whole face here is all going out to the same depth. So most of the geometry will go out to 70 millimeters symmetric, and then maybe there'll be one additional extrusion for this geometry here, which will just come out to the thickness of that rib, which looks like it's going to be about 10 millimeters. So I think that should pretty much take care of things for this model. The only thing that's really going to be left in this model is going to be the counter bore, the hex cut, and then these fillets here on the corners. And that should do it. So tier 3 model, not the most complicated model, but definitely a fun challenge here. Let's get into this challenge. I'm going to flip over to my keyboard cam so you can all see what kind of keyboard shortcuts I'm using. And then I'm going to jump into Onshape. And I'm using the Onshape account here that allows me to post things into the public space. So we're going to call this 25-06-05 space clamp slide. And then I'm going to say create public document. And what this means is you can search the public space for this text string, and then you can find my model and kind of like poke through and look at the history tree in case you get stuck trying to create this model. So now the first thing I'm going to do is just click here on this hamburger menu and say workspace units. And that way I can make sure that my units are in millimeters and my weight is in grams. So on the title block, it says mmgs. That means millimeters, grams, and seconds. So just make sure that we're working with the correct units. And now let's jump in and start working with our game plan. So front plane, S key, begin a sketch, N key to get normal to, S key, create a circle, single click, move my mouse, single click again. It looks like for this first circle, the radius is called out as 40, but what I really want is the diameter, so I could just type in 40 times 2, and that way I don't have to do that math in my head. That's a tough one for me, 40 times 2. Then you can see here that I'm going to move this over and I'm going to single click again and I'm going to type in 50 for the diameter of that smaller circle. And now we are going to create a second circle over here. So I'll just kind of move over with this second circle, make sure that I'm getting horizontal there to the origin, single click, move my mouse, single click again. This one's going to be 52 and then single click, move my mouse, single click again. And that internal circle is going to be 30. And then I'm going to jump into my dimension command and add a dimension here from this center point to this center point, 111, 111. And then I'm going to do S key and I'm going to create a line here. And this line's going to go from this circle to this circle. Now, I don't know if I can get tangency to both in this one single command. So I think I can get maybe tangency to one of them. So there we go. So then I can hit escape, and then you can see here that I was able to get tangent to this circle over here. You see, if I put my mouse over this line, I've got this this tangency relationship that shows up, and then if I put my mouse over the tangency, the line and the circle both become orange. And so that's how I know that I was able to get tangency to that one. But it looks like on this end, I don't have that same tangency. It's only to that first circle. So what I could do is I could pick this and then press T. Or something that I do a lot, I'm going to press the space bar here to clear my 2 selections. So clear those 2 selections. Something I do a lot is just a quick crossing select here. So a crossing to get both of those, and then I press T to make them tangent. So that's just another way you can do it instead of having to pick one and pick the other. Sometimes you can do a crossing. It depends how busy the sketch is in that region. Now, for this lower edge here, it's a little bit tricky. This lower edge is not going to tangent on that arc. It's not going to tangent here, but instead it's running right into this intersection. So you see here, intersection of 3 edges. So what that means is I can't really create that lower line until I create this geometry here that's sticking down. So that's going to be the next segment of my sketch. So I'll come over here to this next segment of the sketch, S key, line, and I'll create a line that comes down here like so, and a line that comes over, and maybe a line that comes up like so, something like that. I'm doing this line here from the internal circle because I need to make sure that I have that gap when I go to do my extrusion. So, you know, if I forgot about that, let's just say I did forget about that. Let's say I create a line here that goes like this. There's my geometry. And then if I look at the print, I can kind of see here from the print that the geometry is 22 in this direction, 22 in this direction. I can see that the geometry has a gap of 6 millimeters, and then that's 3 millimeters off of center. Well, based on that information, I think I can make an assumption that the geometry is mirrored, that it's symmetric about this line here. I mean, obviously it's not perfectly symmetric because this side has a hex and this side has a counterbore, but I think I can make the assumption that these tabs here are symmetric. So based on that assumption, and again, it depends on what you know about the project and about mechanical engineering in general and about the customer, but based on that assumption, what I could do is I could choose to create a mirror here. So my mirror line is going to be this plane. I can just pick the right plane here. And then my entities to be mirrored, I could pick this 1, 2, 3 entities, and then I can exit the mirror command just by pressing on it again. So that's just a little trick that you could use to kind of save some time. Again, it depends on, you are making an assumption there, so you do want to be a little bit careful, but I think that in this case, I'm pretty safe making that assumption. So this is going to be 22 in that direction, and then if I wanted to confirm, I could click this plane and then pick on this line here and just make a driven dimension. Whenever you have an over-defined dimension there, if you just press enter, it'll just show up in driven. It didn't work that time because I typed by accident. Let me just do that again. So from here to here, drop that dimension and then enter, and see it automatically becomes driven. It's like a slightly lighter shade of gray. So it automatically becomes driven there because it would be over constrained. And then what I can do is I can add in my dimension here for the width of this gap at 6. And then a dimension here from this plane down to this line here, and that distance is 60. So now I've got that point there. Now I can S key line and go from that point right over here. You see, if I just take my time and kind of move my mouse around a little, I can pick up on tangency in this one single command. So I don't have to go back and then add tangency. You just got to kind of take your time and look at that cursor feedback that you get. And then look at that. Now we got tangency there as well. Nice fully constrained sketch there. And so now the final thing that I could do here is I could create that final geometry, that kind of rectangle shape, or even just the two lines here, maybe a line here that comes across like so, and then another line here that comes across like so. Again, this could have been a mirror, or I could add the dimensions that are shown on the drawing, 5 to here, and then maybe 10 all the way down to here. I prefer to do it as a mirror because you're gonna be able to maintain symmetry. Like if the customer comes back and says, hey, can you make this 16? Well, now it's gonna be off, off center. So either create a relationship to that line or do it symmetric or do it with a mirror. You could do something like get rid of this line here, and then we could do the same thing we did earlier. You could do mirror, and then you could pick on this plane and then pick on this line and then get out of the mirror command. And so now you'll see that this distance is gonna always be 10, and then if the customer wants that to increase or decrease, you could just change this number here to increase it in both directions. So that's what I prefer to do personally. Just, you have to use some engineering intuition, some experience about what customers tend to change as you're kind of planning out your initial sketch. But there we go. That's my initial sketch. I think that looks pretty good. We were able to learn some cool tips and tricks there. If you guys enjoyed that part of this demo, be sure to hit the like button, especially if you're watching the video recording here after the live stream. But that's what my first sketch would look like. And now I'm ready to take that sketch and extrude that geometry. So I'm going to say extrude, and this is going to be an extrusion to 70 millimeters. So 70. A lot of times I'll kind of rotate the view here, 70, enter, and then I will go down to symmetric and make sure that that looks pretty good. Symmetric. I think that looks pretty good. And then I will go here where it says faces of sketch, and I'll just press the space bar. And then after I press the space bar, I can go through and start picking the regions. So this region here, this region here, this region here, this region here, and this region down here. And that looks pretty good, I think. So I'm gonna hit the check mark, and then I'm gonna realize, oh wait, this isn't right. I need to change that. Well, the nice thing about Onshape is that you could always go back in and change your sketches. So I could always get in here, change this sketch a little bit, and all I really need to do is just draw a line that goes from here to here, so that I can, remove that region as well. Just draw a line here that goes from here to here and just remove that region as well. And now all I need to do is exit the sketch and then edit the extrusion and change the regions that I'm picking for the extrusion. So I'll hit the green check mark here, and oh, look at that. It's like Onshape. Is Onshape using voice commands now? That was amazing. I didn't even have to go back in and pick the different regions. I was able just to exit the sketch, and it somehow automatically picked up on the correct regions. So you gotta love Onshape for its user friendliness. There's been so many times in Onshape where things like that have happened, and I've just been like, oh, perfect. I don't even have to make the edit. That is awesome. So yeah, great. So we're now ready to move on, and maybe that is more what you want your first sketch to look like. Include those extra lines there, and then you'll be able to extrude and get that first region correct. So now I can go back and I can show that original sketch. So I just go in the tree here and click on this little eyeball here in the tree. Just go back and show that original sketch. And then once I go back in and show that original sketch, now I can do S key extrude, and now I can pick this region and this region. And the depth of those extrusions is going to be 10 millimeters, and that is going to be symmetric. And we hit the green check mark. And oh yeah, that looks real good there as well. And now that I've got that geometry in place, the final couple of steps on this thing are going to be the hole. So there's a few ways we could make this hole here. I think what I would probably do is I would probably just start a sketch and just drop a point in here. So just drop in a point right here directly above the origin, and then just define the location of that point. There's a few ways we could locate this, but I think this is fine. This is going to be a distance of 14 millimeters from the bottom of the part. Boom. We got that point there now. And so now we can hit the green check mark. And now that we've got that point there, you can click on that sketch. Let's say I do a Shift N and I call this point for hole location, something like that. Well, the thing is, you can pre-select that sketch, and then you could choose the hole command, and Onshape will automatically locate a hole right there where you pre-selected. I mean, it's really going to locate a hole anywhere there's points in that sketch that you pre-selected. So for example, if this sketch here, if I go back to this sketch and I add 2 more points here, so a point here and a point here, here, and then I exit that sketch, and then I pre-select that sketch, and then I choose the hole command, Onshape automatically uses all those points to locate those holes. So that's something I've been doing a lot more of lately, and I feel like it's a nice workflow. It really works out well for me. So let me go back to that sketch, double click. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of that. And then I will once again pick that point for hole location, then choose the hole command, a little pre-selection there. This will be a counter bore, and this will be metric. So metric, counter bore. And then we move down here to the diameter, and we type in the diameter of 11. That's your through hole. It's in the top view. It's also in the side view. So 11 through, and then tab, 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 tab. And then the counter bore diameter is 16, tab, and then the counter bore depth is 10. Tab, and there we go. That gives us a counter bore running all the way through the part, at the bottom there. That looks good. And so we hit the green check mark. Yep, we like that. We like the hole tool in Onshape. It is very, very useful. And then we can come over here to this side of the model, pick this face, S key, begin a sketch, N key to get normal to, S key, begin a hex, or you can do the up here, the polygon tool, single click, move your mouse, single click again, move your mouse, and you'll see that you can change the number of sides. So move your mouse until that number of sides says 6, left click, and then let go of your mouse, and then you can type in that hex dimension. So it's 17, it's the diameter of this inscribed circle, but that's gonna be the same thing as the flat spot to the flat spot. So that's gonna be 17 for that hex, enter, and then you can hit escape. You can pick on this line here, and you can press H for horizontal, and then you could pick on this point here and the circle, and you can press Shift O for concentric. Shift O for concentric. So you add those two relationships, that horizontal with H, concentric with Shift O, and now you've got that hex located in the right spot. And now all you need to do is you need to go extrude, and this extrude is gonna be a remove, and that remove is gonna be to a depth of 10 millimeters. So extrude, remove 10, enter, enter, and boom, there is that extrusion. And then to finish this thing off, we just need to add those fillets. So S key, fillet, and the fillet here, tab, 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 tab. The fillet here is gonna be a radius of 9, enter, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 edges for that fillet of 9. And we hit the green check mark, and there we go. That part's looking good. We do what's called the final spin. We love the final spin. Make sure that everything looks good. You can press P to hide your planes, or you can press Shift P to hide everything, including that origin. You can come down here to the name of the part down here in the parts list. You can right click and you can say assign material and edit appearance. I'm gonna start out here with edit appearance. I'm just gonna make this look a little bit more like the color that the customer gave us, kind of this like yellow color. Could even go into mixer here and make that a little bit more yellow. Yeah, that looks good there. So make this a little bit closer to the color that the customer gave us. And then what we could do is we can do a right click on the name of the part. We could say assign material, and then once we say assign material, we could go in here to the TTT custom materials. I do have a video on how to do this TTT custom material, so I'll include a link to that down in the description. And then this is going to be the material of ABS. So this is a 3D printed part, or a if we added some draft to it, we can make it an injection molded part. And so this is going to be ABS, and we hit the green check mark, and then and of course, you know, the reason this part looks the way it looks is because you'd put like a socket head cap screw through this part here. Let's go to the front plane, right click, and say section view. So what we would do with a part like this is we would put this around a shaft of some sort that would be almost a press fit, and then we would take a socket head cap screw here, and the socket head cap screw would run through this part like so, and then we would have like a nut here, a hex nut on this side. There'd be a hex nut over here on this side that the socket head cap screw would run into. Maybe you'd put some super glue on that or something, kind of glue that into the 3D printed part. And then what you're able to do is you're able to put an Allen key in here, and you're able to tighten this thing up with an Allen key. And that way you're able to kind of tighten it up around that shaft, and you kind of cut down on that clearance and maybe lock it into one position with just a resistance fit. So very common mechanism we see in mechanical engineering and in 3D printing. And I love it when we make parts here at TooTallToby that utilize that kind of, you know, just some of those general principles of 3D printing and mechanical engineering. All right, sorry, guys, I got a little sidetracked there. Let's click down here in this corner for mass And once you click in that corner for mass, we can click on this part here. We can see that we're coming up with a mass of 431 grams. And you may have noticed that over in the chat, we were seeing some people saying, good game, Rambros here. So why is Jim Yu saying good game, Rambros? How does Jim Yu know that Rambros won? Well, it's probably listed here in the top 42. So if we come over here, we enter our mass 431 and we press enter. Then we see here that says, congratulations, this answer is correct. And we say submit. And now that we've got that answer correct, good job us. We did it, we got it correct. Now that we got that model and we got it correct, we can see here that 12 people have completed this challenge. 12 runners have completed this challenge. And so if we go down here to the first 42, and we click there in the first 42, look at this. Rambros Workshop did it in 4 minutes and 14 seconds. Wow. Wait, hold on. How long did it take me to do it? Data and analytics. Let's see here. It took me 17 minutes and 47 seconds to do it. And Rambros Workshop was able to get in there with Fusion 360 and was able to do this model in just 4 minutes and 14 seconds. Wow, how does he do it? That is so fast. Good job, Rambros Workshop. Rambros Workshop from India. Atse here from North Macedonia, coming in with SolidWorks, doing it in 5 minutes and 44 seconds. MCGA from Germany, coming in here with Katia, 7 minutes and 55 seconds. And JTPARM2 from the United States, rocking Onshape, 8 minutes even, very nice. We got Perkins here from Ireland using SolidWorks, 9 minutes, 20 seconds. We got Casca in here as well, 11 minutes, 53 seconds, very nice. We got CSWE Victor, 11 minutes, 57 seconds. So everybody up here in this list beat the world champion CSWE Victor. Well done, well done. We got Kate Leipold here using Creo, representing Creo today. That's what I like to see. 13 minutes, 34 seconds, very nice. We got Jack here from Hong Kong using Onshape, 13 minutes, 50 seconds. We got Kerberos here from Sweden, Jim Yu, free CAD, 17 minutes, 50 seconds, very nice. We got Silva here from Czechia, and using SolidWorks, very nice, 17 minutes, 59 seconds. And then we got Nikola Tesla, took me 20 minutes and 54 seconds from the time it was released, from Serbia. So congratulations to everybody who finished that challenge and got onto that leaderboard. Very nicely done. Rambros Workshop says Victor started late. Yep, that's the thing, is that this list, it's kind of fun. This list here, the first 42 is a little different from the top 100. The top 100 is based on when you started and when you finished. So you see here, MCGA was able to do the whole model in actually just 2 minutes and 53 seconds. And I believe it because MCGA constantly posts, or regularly posts, his winning speed runs. So MCGA, you know, put his money where his mouth is and showed everyone, like, yeah, I can do these. I can speed run these models, and has posted videos of himself doing these. So I think that is totally, you know, epic and amazing and awesome. And so that top 100 time represents the time it took you to actually complete the model, where the first 42 is based on the time from when the model was released. So the model was released at 1:35. Victor Rambros Workshop submitted his at 1:39. So just 4 minutes later, he submitted his. So that first 42 is kind of special. It's like if you don't catch the model right when it was released, then, you know, you're not going to be able to get there in that first 42, because this is immutable. You know, once Rambros Workshop gets there in that #1 spot, nobody's going to dethrone him from that spot. Where the top 100, you can kind of volley back and forth on here, and people could come in with a faster time and kind of dethrone some people here. And then, of course, if you do a speed run, if you record yourself doing a speed run, just go in here to your data and analytics, and then you can post a copy of your speed run, and that way it'll show up on the speed running video table, and it'll show up in that kind of front page as well for these featured models. So GG to everybody who finished that challenge, and of course GG to Rambros Workshop for earning that point. Atse coming in right behind him, and Atse earning the first point today. Good job to everyone today, and I hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial. And if you did, be sure to like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, be sure to share and reshare. Let people know what's going on in the world of TooTallToby. It's a great way for us to continue to grow. And if you want to join the party, sign up for Practice Models Premium, join the YouTube channel, visit us at TooTallToby.com/donate. And congratulations again to Rambros Workshop for finishing that, but really congratulations to everybody who was able to get through that in a short period of time. We got Mesa Makes in the chat. What's up, my man? Says, my summer schedule is killing me. Just logged on, LOL. Yeah, we got to get into the groove here, the summer groove. But I've really been enjoying. I was excited to see you posted a new video today. If you guys haven't checked out Mesa Makes' YouTube channel, be sure to check it out. He always posts great content on there, great challenges, especially for students. All right, guys, I want to say thank you so much to all of you, the most amazing chat ever. Without any of you, we would not be able to do this amazing show each week. And on that note, we are going to be taking off next week. So we're going to be back on Monday, June 30th, but we are going to be off next week doing some traveling this week. So we're not going to be able to do the show next week, but we will be back Monday, June 30th. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I really appreciate all of you being here. It's such a fun way to start the day, such a fun way to start the week. And so I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I will look forward to seeing all of you in the next Model Monday Live. Don't forget to talk to anybody in your life who's into 3D CAD and is a speed wizard. Let them know about TooTallToby.com/variety to get them signed up for the next CAD vs. CAD speed modeling tournament. And I will see you guys in the next live stream. Thanks, everybody.